I really don't get this. I am so angry right now. I've been playing Radiata stories here, and the game teaches me to kick people, duel them, and then I might be able to add them as a friend. I want to add more friends, so that's what I do on the street, just kick people. And what do I get? Someone calling the police, and now I have an assault charge on me? Why can't I use anything from a video game these days? Hey everyone, how's it going? Total Level here, and today I want to talk about one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games ever and why I think it deserves a remake. Heck, I'll even take a remaster at this point, maybe even a sequel, but anyways, talking about Radiata stories here as love this game so much as I talked about this game before, but today I want to talk about why needs a remake, be brought to modern consoles because this game is so fun, so fantastic, but there's definitely issues with it that would really benefit from that remake treatment. Even for a remaster, you could add a few things here and there, quality of life stuff, right? So, yeah, today I just kind of want to talk about that. So, today, I think how I'm going to break this down is I'm going to talk about kind of the base story of this game along with kind of its features, right? What makes it so great. And then I'll talk about kind of what could improve, what would need to be changed if a remake was to happen, and, or a remaster or sequel, but we'll just say remake for the sake of this video, and yeah, what changes need to be done before just doing the outro. So, yeah, enough talking about that. Let's dive into the best PlayStation 2 games here, Radiata Stories. I really hope you enjoy. Before we begin, I just want to say that as I go through some parts of the story, there are some spoilers here. It's tough talking about this game without talking about two major story parts that really open the game up, so just want to let everyone know. Radiata Stories follows the story of a dog breed named Jack Russell. I feel like this was the era where Square Enix games were starting to have some interesting names, should we say? Anyways, as Jack, he is the son of a famous Radiata knight, and so he tries to follow in his father's footsteps by becoming one, but he gets his butt handed to him by a girl named Ridley.
Ridley's a girl? Sheesh, I was looking forward to a real fight.
Yep, and she destroyed you, Jack. After that, though, Jack still gets into the Radiata Knights because of his father's legacy, and the beginning of the game is where you're in for a more lighthearted adventure with many jokes along the way, at least for most of the game, because later it does take a serious turn. We'll get to that later. And so for the first part of the game, it's very linear, having you accept jobs from the Radiata Knights through the first few hours until you get a job to help someone named Genius to try and get into the land of the elves. After an incident though that got really hurt, there's more to it, but I'll leave that out. Ridley's father schemes up a plan to get both Jack and Jack's captain, Gantz, kicked out of the Radiata Knights. This is where the game opens up. After both Jack and Gantz try to join the Theater Van Core Guild, though Jack is the only one to get in. Poor Gantz. This is where you can now add many different party members, or what's called friends in this game. At first, Jack is part of the Hecton squad in Van Core, but outside of his duties with them of main story missions, you can add other people in the world to your party to train and grind or do side quests. Some are really easy to recruit, like talking to them a few times. Others you need to be a certain level or wait until you progress through the game more, where you become a sergeant and lead a squad yourself. Some want you to do a task for them, and some you need to duel by kicking them, and after you win that duel they will join, though sometimes you may have to fight them a few times before they will join. Still don't know why kicking people myself got me into such trouble. But anyways, this is my favorite part of the game. There are, I believe, 175 people to recruit, though you can't recruit everyone in one playthrough, which I'll talk about why later. There are two things found in some RPGs that I personally love. One is having a job system with many different job classes to choose and play as. The other is having many different recruitable party members. And while yes, there are many here that aren't very useful to use, when you play a game like this multiple times, you try to give different challenges to yourself by using different ones you normally wouldn't use. Now, I do wish you could control these characters in battle along with having some sort of level scaling, but I'll get into that more when I talk about changes and improvements a remake could use for Radiata stories. Now, I said most of the game is lighthearted and silly at times, but there's a point where the game gets serious. I won't go into it too much for spoiler reasons, but this is why you cannot recruit everyone in one playthrough. You will make a choice that will lead you to one of two different endings, which in turn will decide who you can and cannot recruit anymore. The combat in the game is quite basic. You have one button for normal attacks and another for special attacks. Later you can issue commands to party members and use link setups. You can customize a little bit of how Jack's attack patterns are, but that's pretty much it. You can block and do a back step along with, turning the camera and locking onto enemies, but it's very basic. You also can only control Jack. On the field, you will explore quite narrow pathways to your destination, which makes it quite difficult to avoid enemies in certain areas, and once you run into an enemy, that's when you start a battle. The way you progress in the game is confusing at first for new players too. Many ways of how the game moves forwards is through just time, right? And because of that, to get to your next cutscene, you will need to rest in a bed to make the time move forward. You may also need to run around the town, for a bit until you find the area you need to go to trigger the next cutscene. It's quite confusing for sure, and that's the base story and elements of Radiata stories. There are things that need improvement and quality of life improvements, so let's talk about those now, but yeah, I just love this game. First thing easily are just simple quality of life improvements if a remake were to happen. Radiata Stories has no waypoints, and so playing the game for the first time it's very easy to get lost. There is a map you get where you can see a mark of some quests you take, but if it's a quest that say takes you to the sewers, there's no direction to tell you where to go, so it's very easy to get lost. For me, who's played the game many times over and over again, for the most part I know where to go, but others playing for the first time, it can be frustrating. Also, having a checkpoint or autosave system could help too, and having different difficulties would benefit the game as well. Now, the game isn't hard or anything, except for some optional bosses, but these small changes can help make for a better experience for everyone. The next improvement for a remake would be improving how the story progresses. Like I said, the way you progress a lot is through time, and to make time go faster, you sleep. It's just not utilized in a great way and makes the story progression feel strange at times. There's one pretty early on where you must stop someone as they are acting quite aggressive, and people you talk to, I never talked to these people at the time, but the cutscene acts like you've known them for quite a while. I just think this could be, at least better explained to the player as to how to get to the next part of the story. Also, a warning before getting to the part where you need to make that decision before going down the path of one to two endings would help, because if you don't save beforehand, then you're kinda stuck. Which brings me to the next point, and that's cut content. If you Google Radiata Stories cut content, you will see a lot of topics on this. Now, I don't know everything that was cut, but perhaps it would help some cutscenes feel less jarring with adding some new scenes and parts that were cut from this game. I think Radiata Stories could do better on helping the player with party recruitment as well. Ways to recruit party members can feel very confusing and bit of trial and error, right? So, like I said, some will need to be fought, others you just need to simply wait until you are a sergeant. I think having a hint system or ways to help players guide their way into getting certain party members can help. Now, part of the fun is figuring out yourself how to recruit these people, but it would be a nice option for some. Also, I wish there was an auto leveling scale for these party members. You gain so many, but you need to level each one individually, and some party members you get start at like level 5, right? So there's quite a bit of grinding, and that can be quite a pain. Would be nice to have some party members on the sideline level up with you too, or scale up to a certain point at least. And the final thing that Radiata Stories could improve on if it were to get a remake is the combat. Like I said, combat is very basic, and while I do enjoy it, I do wish there were more attacks and combos you could do. Another thing is you can only control Jack, and it would be really fun to be able to use other party members in battle too. You get to use different types of weapons for Jack to use different combat styles, but I want to use some of the magic users, for example. It would just be really cool to see. And like I said, for the fields and pathways, they are very narrow, so a remake could help with those areas having a bit wider type of areas to avoid fights if you don't want to battle at the moment. And those are just some of the improvements that I think Radiata Stories remake could use. Some of these could even be used in just a simple remaster, right? Or maybe a sequel. Just give us more, please. Like I said, it's one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games ever. I love the game so much, and I would love to see it return for others to enjoy, but all games could always use a few tweaks here and there to make them even better for everyone. Anyways, thanks for watching, as let's do the outro now. And so, I really hope you enjoyed me talking about one of my favorite games ever. I love Radiata Stories so much, as, yeah, just this great combination of kind of Tales of meets Suikoden, right? Which I can't wait for the remaster. Suikoden in March going to be awesome, right? But yeah, just with the amount of party recruitments, right, along with just having kind of look, style, and gameplay that feels Tales of like, right? As, yeah, I would love more people to check this out. So right now, it's still stuck on the PlayStation 2 or through emulation, right? And it's a shame because there's a lot of great things about it. Like I said, talking about things that need to improve, like there's definitely issues with the game, things that a remake could really help fix, especially quality of life stuff, but yeah, I love talking about this game, so I hope you also enjoyed me talking about this, as let me know what you think about Radiata Stories. Would you love to see a remake of this yourself? Let me know in the comments down below, along with other kind of games, RPGs you would love to see remade yourself. I would love to hear all your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, always appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks everyone, have a great rest of your day. Now hold on a minute, is that Claude from Star Ocean 2? Oh no, it's just Gantz, sorry the clothes threw me off. Hey everyone, thanks for watching, really appreciate it. If you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to see more. Also follow me on X, Twitch, Bluesky, and I am back on Facebook now. All links will be on my About page, so follow me there. Even if it's just for the skits I do, I need someone to follow me. Okay, probably not the best way to encourage people, But anyways, I'll see you next time. Have a great day, everyone.